new theory about Goku's upcoming transformation in the Tournament of Power arc has been making the rounds on the internet. It involves the Spirit Bomb. It has some pretty cool possibilities, and I definitely wanted to talk about it. It's theory time. What is up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. Hey, real quick, if you love Dragon Ball the way I love Dragon Ball, and you want Den of Nerds Dragon Ball content, subscribe to this channel. To be completely honest with you guys, Justin and I have been trying for a long time now to have Dragon Ball Super content take off on this channel. It never seemed to catch traction. We covered the Goku Black arc, we did recaps every week for a while, and it just never got views. Now, back then we only had about 1,000 subs, and we're closing in on 5 now. So if you want this channel to be giving you Dragon Ball Super content, subscribe and hit us up in the comments, because we are more than willing to do that. Oh, and if you already are a subscriber, make sure you hit that bell. Otherwise, YouTube is not going to tell you when we upload new videos. Now, getting right into this video, the theory about the Spirit Bomb being the catalyst for Goku's limit breaker form is a really, really cool theory. So I wanted to talk about that, and it's, you know, it's different. I don't know if I exactly buy the theory 100%, but it's definitely interesting. So here's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to explain what the theory is exactly, what the evidence is for it, like why do people think this is the reason it'll happen, and then at the end of the video I'm going to give you my twisted version of this theory, which will still drive this crazy wedge between the characters and make the Grand Priest's evil plan come to fruition. So we'll get to that at the end of the video. So what is this theory exactly? Well, it's based upon leaks, and I would say spoiler warning, but if you're in it like I am and you're on Reddit and you're watching other YouTubers talk about Dragon Ball, shout out to Geekdom101, who I think is the best Dragon Ball YouTuber out, and I get a lot of information from him. I enjoy watching him all the time. But if you're in it like I am, you already know this. You already know that the Spirit Bomb's coming. So slight spoiler warning, but it is what it is. So the Spirit Bomb technique will be used in the fight against Jiren and Goku, the upcoming special. So here's what we know. Goku is going to attempt to use Kaioken times 20 with the Super Saiyan Blue form in order to fight Jiren. Apparently, it's not going to be even close to enough. Jiren, mega time OP, he's going to be so strong that a Kaioken times 20 with the God form is still not even going to be close. So that's bad news, and what's going to happen is, because of that, Goku will then use the Genki Dama, or the Spirit Bomb technique, which actually interestingly mirrors what Goku did in his fight against Frieza on Namek. Shout out to Geekdom one more time, because he kind of covered this in his video about this theory, and I was like, wow, that's a really good point. So check this out. On Namek, Goku does use Kaioken times 20. It doesn't work. Then he does use the Spirit Bomb. It doesn't work. And then Frieza kills Krillin, setting Goku into a rage, and then Goku goes Super Saiyan, and then we know it from there. Now, that's one of the best moments in anime, period. Super, super hype. So they are at least paying homage to that moment, which I think is pretty cool. So why do people think that he's going to absorb the Spirit Bomb at that point to take on this new form? Well, the evidence mostly comes from the Android, or the Super Android 13 movie. Now, that movie is incredible, and one of the things that Goku does in that movie is take a Spirit Bomb and literally absorb it to sort of recharge his battery and gain new power, and that is how he is able to defeat Android 13. Now, really interestingly, Screw Attack actually uses that technique when they are doing their example of Goku versus Superman. They classically did a couple different versions of that, and I think it was in the part 2, after Goku had his new Super Saiyan form, Super Saiyan Blue, that they did that again, and they've used the absorption of a Spirit Bomb as a technique that Goku was able to use against Superman. So kind of funny, interesting little point there. But that is the theory. That's what people think. So what's the evidence for this? Why do people think that the Spirit Bomb being absorbed is the catalyst to the limit breaker form? Because we know that the Spirit Bomb's coming, but the theory is where people think it's going to be the catalyst to the form. There's really not a lot of concrete evidence for this, but there's some evidence. One piece that I found interesting was the fact that Goku's hair looks to be in base form rather than in Super Saiyan. It's black, and though strands of it are risen up slightly, it's definitely not full up like you see in a Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, or Super Saiyan 3 form. It's not like standing on its edge, so to speak. And because Goku is usually in base form when he performs the Spirit Bomb technique, people are saying, well, he looks like he does when he does a Spirit Bomb. That obviously means he probably absorbed the Spirit Bomb like he did in the Android 13 movie, and I guess I can see that parallel. It makes sense in that regard. There's also the little pieces of energy in the aura that surround Goku, and do they look slightly like the energy that comes off of a Spirit Bomb? Sure, I think that that's fair. I think I can see a parallel between those two things. Also, interestingly, they point to the Trunks form where he takes the Spirit Bomb at the end of the Goku Black and he makes that sword out of it, which was freaking fantastic. I can't wait to see that in video games and stuff like that. But people point to the fact that Trunks was able to more or less gather energy from all the people on Earth, kind of without permission, and form a version of the Spirit Bomb and then make it into a sword. So they're saying there's evidence in Super for it already. I don't really particularly know if I buy that, and I definitely don't think Goku's just gonna grab all the energy from the gods without asking. I don't think that's even possible, and if it is, it's not something Goku ever really tried to do before. The only evidence that I can see for something like this happening where Goku is using ki or using energy in an external way to affect his body was when Hit killed him and he threw up that little energy ball that then came back down to restart his heart. So there is some evidence for Goku using energy techniques to literally like affect him physically, so I can kind of see it, but that is the evidence out there. That's pretty much why people think that it's going to happen. Also, on a side note, the fact that Toei has been bringing things from their old movies back into now, I guess, canon for Dragon Ball Super is like a good point. It's something to mention. The Broly, I mean, think about this. Broly never existed in canon, and now we have, what I love to call Gwen Broly. So you've got the female version of this Broly character, which is now brought into canon. So it's not outside of the realm of possibilities for them to bring something like Spirit Bomb absorption from non-canon into canon. So there's kind of evidence for Toei doing this. So I wouldn't be completely surprised if they did it. Now, let me talk about my version of this theory, the only way I can see it going down. And what's interesting is my problems with the theory are actually what brought me to this conclusion. My main problem is, where's he gonna get the energy? You're in this lifeless void area, and if Goku, he can't tap out the power of the other universes, he can't tap on the people of Earth to give him power. The only people that are there are the other opponents, which they're damn sure not going to give him any energy, and the other gods, and the angels, and everybody that's outside, and I just really don't see them giving him any energy as well. But here's the caveat to that. Beerus is so afraid of being eliminated that I could see a scenario where Goku asks for energy and mother flippin' Beerus gives Goku his power, and that in it of itself might be enough to push Goku and the Spirit Bomb to a point that it could, give him this sort of power. Beerus is that strong. So it's not even the other people. Like, let's say they eliminate Vegeta. Let's say, Krillin, some other people. Let's say there's a bunch of people. Let's say everybody but Goku was eliminated from Universe 7. I still don't think that's enough power. Maybe from Vegeta. I mean, Vegeta has a lot of power, maybe. But when you add Beerus into the mix, it gets really interesting. I can see a scenario where they do that, and maybe even Whis, although I don't know if he would do this, but if Whis was in there, Whis and Beerus, you're talking about power that's just completely on another level, so I could see that happening. However, there was a comment on my other video about the Saiyan Genes that really made me think, and I tried to go through the comments and find this person, but there's like over 1,000 at this point, so it's like really hard for me to find him. But they were talking about Zeno. Guys, several times during this arc, they showed Zenos raising their hands, and the one Zeno always gets the wrong hand, and then he like, switches it up and does the other hand. I feel like that could be foreshadowing. Zeno is like a child and he loves Goku. If Goku asks people to put their hand up to absorb their energy and frickin' Zeno does it, guys, what if he does that unknowing, not really comprehending what it means, and then Goku gets the power of not one, but 2 Zenos in his spirit bomb? And what if that spirit bomb becomes this crazy, disastrous thing that could threaten everything? The universe, the 2 Zenos, it literally could destroy everything. And in order to save everyone, Goku is forced to absorb it. Not like wanting to absorb it, forced to absorb it. And then he does that to try to save everyone, and the depowered Zenos become a target for the Grand Priest, who I'm just so convinced has been doing everything in his power to try to get rid of the Zenos. I don't think he wants to be beholden to the Zenos any longer. And what if Goku does this, drains their power, and then Grand Priest turns around and whacks both Zenos, and we head off on the crazy adventure that I think we're gonna get post Universal Survival arc. Wow, that would be insane. So that's my crazy version of it. But let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this theory? Do you think the spirit bomb absorption is the way to the limit breaker form? Do you think it's possible that he's going to get power from Beerus or Whis? Do you think it's possible that the Zenos are going to give him power? And how ridiculous do you think that level of power is? Hit me up in the comment section. Always willing to have a conversation with you guys about this down there. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!